Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I'm audible.
Your voice is low.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yes, please continue.
So good afternoon, sir. Uh, on behalf of all the participants and MMTTC MZU, I would like to welcome Professor O.P. Raya, sir. He is a very senior academics. He is former Vice Chancellor of Central University of South Bihar. He is former head and former dean of Faculty of Commerce, Banaras Hindu University. He is a senior faculty member from Banaras Hindu University. Right now, he is the director of Banaras Institute of Teachers Education. And today he is going to talk about management of interpersonal relationships in academic institutions, a review. So, sir, we are having some 37 participants in this course. They are from commerce, economics, and management background. Some 17, 18 are from commerce, some 12, 13 are from economics, and 5, 6 are there from management background. And they are representing some 14
That's
states
fine.
of India. So, sir, now time is yours, sir. You may start. And the page you have shared with me, I have shared with all of the participants, that one page write-up. So you may share
Now
your
this
screen.
PPT, if possible, should be also taken
Sir?
care of. Or should I take more from my side?
Oh, yes.
Will it be possible from your side to arrange PPT
From my side, sir,
presentation?
I will request someone, sir. Actually, I have to attend one PhD Viva just now. So I will request one of the scholar to handle this. I will take 1 minute, sir. You may start in between.
Okay, then I try from my side.
Possible, then it's good, sir.
Meant for the sake of lecture only. It has its own purpose. And before I proceed further, I will also like to highlight this fact that when you people go to your classes, you should also have a clear idea of the objectives for which you are giving a lecture for a particular day, so that you achieve your objectives and it serves the purpose for which you might be delivering a lecture on a particular day. So, wrong perception in that sense. But if I give a lecture only for the sake of delivering a lecture, then perhaps the objective for which I am here with you will be defeated. So, lecture for the sake of lecture is different thing, and lecture for a particular purpose is different. So, I have put my purpose or objectives before you for the today's lecture is how you can have good relationships with, say, your superiors, that is your boss basically. It may be head of the department, it may be principal, it may be director, whatever you call. So the superiors, how you can have a good relationship with your superior or superiors, how you can manage good relationship with your peers, that is teachers of equal rank, and finally how you can have good relationship with your students. So the purpose for the day is to manage interpersonal relations in your college or university, wherever
sir,
you are.
Just 1 second, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Sir, we are operating your PPT.
That's
so,
fine.
Whenever we need to change slide, kindly instruct us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So come to the objectives of the today's lecture. Change the slide and
Yes,
objectives
it's
of
now
the
in objective.
Yeah, these are the objectives. Objectives of today's lecture to have personal skills. Dear teachers, you need certain skills. Good relationship with your persons with whom you are interacting in the college or university. So the first, so give boring lecture in your class. I mean, teachers, it happens. Sometimes we deliver good lectures, sometimes we deliver not so good lectures. So if my lecture is a bad one, not a good one, then you will come to know that how painful it is to bear a boring lecture. In other words, it will inspire you not to deliver a boring lecture. So we come up to the first part of our discussion, that is, let's simply change the slide. Tips for improving interpersonal skills. Tips for improving interpersonal skills. So let us take one by one. Number one I have taken is always keep a smiling face. Dear teachers, some of you will find that some of your teacher colleagues or even your boss might be there or students might be there who are always under stress. You will find them always having a sad face, a painful face, a face full of stress. I will say that if you want to have a good relationship with others, then you should begin with yourself, and you should always try to have a smiling face. It costs nothing but gives a number of benefits. Uh, for example, if you have a smiling face, then the person with whom you are interacting, he or she will feel a pleasure which can be experienced only by looking at a smiling face. It gives this smiling face, you see, gives positive energy. It gives positive vibrations, and that helps you to strengthen your relationship with anybody. So, if you can take up my this particular suggestion of today, always keep a smiling face. If you simply take this one suggestion, my purpose of delivering the lecture will be more than sufficient for you people. Second point which I have noted is learn to praise others. Honorable teachers, many times we like to criticize others, and we feel pleasure in criticizing, forgetting that the pleasure which we get through criticism is less as compared to the pleasure which you get when you praise others. So develop, if possible. I know, if not many, then some of you might have the tendency to go on criticizing concerned persons, one on the basis of one or other reason. Now the fact is that nobody is perfect in this world, including you and me. None is perfect. Everybody is having certain positive aspects, and someone are having a negative aspect. So my suggestion to you all is try to concentrate more on merits of the personality of the person with whom you are interacting. Forget about the demerits of the person, because when you concentrate on demerits, then you start criticizing, and when you concentrate on merits, then you start praising. Let me take some example of our own family affairs. Sometimes we have some conflict. If you are a male, then with with your wife, or if you are a female, then with your husband. So wife and husband, sometimes they have some sort of conflict. In that case, what happens that when you have a conflict, then you go on starting concentrating on demerits of your wife or husband, and that multiplies the consequences. That starts making more trouble. That start creating more troubles for the husband or for the wife. So my suggestion is that not only in college or university, even at your home, try to appreciate, try to praise the person with whom you are interacting. And remember, the nature of law is that whatever you give, the same is returned back with interest. So if you praise your wife or if you praise your husband, then the husband or wife will also appreciate you with interest. So why to make a business on which we are incurring losses? That means we are getting pains. So if you want more pleasure in your life, if you want to enjoy life, then my suggestion to you will be, please try to avoid criticizing others. Go for praising others, keeping in mind the fact which I said earlier, that nobody is perfect. None is good, none is bad. It is all your approach through which somebody becomes good and somebody becomes bad. Let me say like this, that your wife or husband, sometimes you feel he or she is very good, and some other times the same wife or same husband sometimes becomes very bad. So the husband or wife is same, but it is our approach, our thinking, our feeling, which ultimately makes the wife or husband bad or good. The same is applies with the boss also. Sometimes you feel your boss is good, sometimes you feel the boss is bad, but the boss is same. It is only your thinking due to which the boss becomes good or becomes bad. So learn to praise others. So when my lecture is complete, for God's sake, do not concentrate on my weak points. Concentrate on my good points, positive points, which you feel I am trying to deliver. So learn to praise others. Third is, try to share others' pains. Dear friends, in our life, we sometimes we have pleasures, some other times we are not having pleasures, we are having pains. So when somebody is in pain because of illness or because of some sudden negative event taking place nearby or in the family, in that case, you should try to contact the concerned person or party. If you cannot go to the place of that person, then you can use mobile. You can send some message through WhatsApp, or you can do anything possible through which you may give the message that you are really concerned with the pains of the concerned person or persons. And obviously, this approach will help you to develop better, more effective, more strong relationship with the concerned person or persons. Another aspect which I would like to highlight is inculcate the habit of careful listening. And many times what we do is that we go on talking without go on speaking, without giving any space for the other party to say something. This is not a good habit. Many times I have seen in the interview board also, the professor who is taking interview, he goes on speaking as if he is delivering a lecture in the interview board. So when you talk, you speak, no problem. You must speak when you are talking, but then also give some time to the other person to say something. And if he or she is saying something, please listen carefully. Give your observations, whatever the concerned person is saying. And in this regard, I will say that when you go in the class also, remember this habit of careful listening. You encourage your students to ask questions. That will make it two-way communication and will strengthen your relationship with your students. Then another point which I would like to highlight is improve your body language and paralanguage. Honorable teachers, when you teach in the class or when you sit before the boss or when you sit with your peers, that is your friends, then be careful with regard to your body language and also your paralanguage. Body language obviously is the communication which you give through the movement of your body parts, your eyes, your hands, shoulders, legs. All these things have some message. So observe at your body language and try to have effective body language when you interact with somebody. Now, what could be done with regard to body language to make it more effective? You can have any book on body language and go through it, through which you can understand what is bad and what is good in body language. With regard to paralanguage, well, paralanguage is a language wherein your speed, your volume, your tone or pitch, and pause all are included. So, if I speak loudly, now this is what we call this the volume of our speech. He is a good boy. He is a good boy. This is the speed of which I'm talking about. You are a good boy. You are a good teacher. Look at the tone. You are a good teacher. You are a good teacher. Look at the tone. It gives different message. And pause obviously is when you write use comma, full stop, etc., etc. Similarly, when you talk with others, have some pause, which is required for full stop or comma. You do not say that Ram is a good boy, full stop, he goes to school, full stop. You never say. So how this full stop has to be expressed? For this purpose, pause is required. Ram is a good boy. He goes to school daily. A pause. So next time when you deliver a lecture in your class, you use this technique, pausing. Many times when we go on stage and start speaking on mic, then we forget that the mic is there and we start talking loudly as if we are taking a class of 50 students without mic. So mic is there, then your volume must be reasonable. So your speed, please, I once again repeat, because I say that I am not delivering a lecture for the sake of lecture. I am trying to make you understand the things and not only understand, also implement your future life. So that, as I said, so that the purpose of interacting with you is properly served. So please, for God's sake, look at your body language. How your legs are there, how your hands are there, how your fingers are there, how your eyes are there when you interact with your boss or with your peers or with your students. We teach our students that when you speak before the audience, there must be eye contact with all possible participants who are in the class or wherever you are. So if you go next time when you go on the stage, even if you read something from your already prepared material, just give some time to look at the audience. Try to try to have eye contact with the audience. As you can understand, if you go for eye contact, then this creates better understanding. You see, when you look at a particular person in the audience and you have eye contact with him or her, then the concerned person feels that you are giving due importance to him or her. And as you know, every person has egoistic needs. needs of feeling superior as compared to others. What is ego? Ego is this: presenting somebody superior as compared to others. So you develop the habit of contacting through your eyes with the other eyes of the audience. That will uh, give a better impact of your lecture. Then another times you have some two persons or two parties have conflict. So my suggestion is that if it is feasible for you, then spare some time and try to mediate. And through that mediation, you uh, try to eliminate the conflict. If you cannot eliminate, then at least minimize the conflict. This will help you to have a stronger relationship with the concerned person or parties. So this is also an art. Not everybody and anybody can do, but I feel you can do once you start uh, developing your skill of conflict management. My friends from commerce or management will remember the chapter of conflict management. So look at this chapter, take out the important aspects of how conflict can be managed, and apply those things in your daily life. You will get more respect as compared to others who do not do these things. Then seventh is be humorous and make others humorous. Dear young friends, life is full of problems. Everybody, if not everybody, then many of us are under stress, are having pains of vivid nature. So, my suggestion is that you speak in such a way that people start laughing. Now, how can you do this? Well, you can do this by using some short stories or by using some cartoons published in papers or say on social media platforms. Uh, Also by short stories you can do these things. Let me give an example how this. Please continue the previous slide. Yes, I give one example of this humorous way of discussing the things. एक 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 बेटी का पिता जो है अपने बिटिया की शादी के लिए लड़के वालों के यहाँ गया और बोला कि मेरी बिटिया गाना भी गा सकती है, खाना भी बना सकती है, नाच भी सकती है, और क्या नहीं कर सकती है। सार रूप में मैं ये कहूँ कि मेरी बिटिया अगर आपके घर में आएगी तो आपका घर स्वर्ग हो जाएगा। अब देखिए, बेटी वाला कह रहा है कि अगर मेरी बिटिया आपके घर में आ जाएगी तो घर आपका स्वर्ग हो जाएगा। तो बेटे के पिता ने कहा तो इसका मतलब हम लोग स्वर्गवासी हो जाएंगे। तो स्वर्ग और स्वर्गवासी. So I mean, I gave an example. So you can remember some good jokes, and you may use these jokes or even cartoons through which you might make others feel happy. So if you do this thing, if you can develop this tendency, then people will like to call you and will like to sit you that, oh, Mr. X has come. Mr. X is so humorous. He makes us smile. He makes us help to forget our pains for some time. So develop this art of becoming humorous and making others happy. You may cut jokes on yourself. Cutting jokes on yourself or oneself is a difficult task, but you do that. then that will help to have relations with others. Then review your own behavior from time to time. Dear teachers, you please sit silently in a room and look at your own behavior. Try to note down the good, the positive side of positive points of your behavior or of a personality, whatever you call. Look at the positive sides of your personality and also note down your negative side of personalities, your drawbacks. Look at them. And if you find that there are some drawbacks, try to minimize them if you cannot eliminate. For example, when you review your own personality or behavior, then you find that you become aggressive, or you find that you are aggressive, or you find that you are a negative thinker. You have a more tendency of criticizing as compared to praising others. So if you find like this that you are having a bad habit of more criticizing and less praising, you can think of improving it. So look at your negative sides. You may find that you are more stressful as compared to others. So why you are so much stressful? Life is a drama. Nothing is permanent here. We all are playing a role in the drama. So why to be so much stressful? So look at your personality, find out the positive sides, and for that I congratulate you that you are having a number of positive aspects in your personality. But I think you will not say that you are 100% perfect. And if you believe that you are not 100% perfect, it means there are certain negative sides in your personality. So my point is, what are those negative sides? And try to minimize them slowly with the passage of time. Then try to adopt forgive and forget approach. Forgive and forget approach. You see, we all have a number of problems which are perhaps God gifted or given by the God, given by the nature, given by the situations. So why to add more problems in our life? I think you're getting me, teachers. Why to add man-made or your made problems in your life? If you feel that you are having lesser problems, then okay, then I will not object. Then you can go on adding more problems for you by not forgiving and not forgetting others. But I feel that most of you will say, no, sir, we do not. I mean, all of you will say that, no, sir, we do not want more pains or more problems. Then my humble suggestion is that forget others. Jesus Christ said, God forgive them because they do not know what they are doing. God forgive them because they are not knowing what they are doing. So similarly, you can also many times forgive your, say, especially your students, or even you can forgive your boss also sometimes, so that you minimize or you avoid having more complications. Let's have next slide. Go for the next slide. Are you getting me? Please change the slide. Anyway, he will change. Yes. So the next one is try to be a role model for others. Try to be role model for others. Honorable teachers, you are unique. Every teacher participating in this program, or even not participating in the program, everybody is unique. Nature does not believe in carbon copy. DNA, fingerprints of every individual is different. So you also are unique. And if you say, no, sir, I agree to disagree you, in that case, I will say that who has given you a certificate? Who has given you a certificate that you are not unique? If you say that you are not unique, it is you are to be blamed because you yourself is saying that you are unique. Nobody has said like that. So my point is that look at your strong positive aspects of your personality. and sharpen those qualities more. You take one or two aspects. For example, you look at your paralanguage. Make your paralanguage so much effective that when you speak in the class, when you speak with your boss, when you talk with your friends, pin drop silence is there. People start listening you. You you learn the art of managing your skill, your stress. I have given a separate paper. It is a page from my book, wherein I have given certain suggestions that if you are under stress, then how you can minimize your stress. Remember, the managers, executives, directors, presidents, vice presidents, they get higher salary because they have identified their unique qualities and, for example, they know how to manage stress. They have identified their positive sides. For example, they know that they know that they have the habit of praising others. So you take this particular aspect that I decide today that from tomorrow onwards, from today itself, why to tomorrow? From tomorrow, today itself, I will not criticize others. Remember, criticizing is of two types. One is constructive criticism, and other one is non-constructive criticism. So if you criticize somebody, that means you tell some drawbacks of a person with the objective or with the motto to remove those drawbacks. With the motto that you want that those drawbacks of the concerned person are removed, then this we call positive criticism. And the negative criticism is that you criticize only for the sake of criticizing. So if you develop the unique quality of praising others to the extent possible, if you uh, developed, as I said, how you communicate with others or how you can motivate others, you learn the art of motivating others. If you can do that, again, my friends from commerce and management, for them there is a chapter of motivation in organizational behavior or principles of management papers. So from there you can take some tips as to how you can motivate others. And if you can learn this art of motivating others, people will like to call you, people will remember you, people will give you extra respect, regard, because they know that the person is having the capacity to motivate others. This motivation, quality is very beneficial for the students because the students they need motivation from teachers. Some of us we go on criticizing the students knowingly or unknowingly, and never thinking that their criticism, negative criticism I'm talking about, not positive criticism. Negative criticism will harm the overall development of the students, but they fail. So try to be role model for others. Take one or two or three, whatever you decide, qualities of yours where you can excel. Then you do every possible thing to sharpen those qualities to such an extent that people remember you because of those qualities. Since you always having a smiling face, you always help others in their troubles, pains. You know how to communicate with others. I mean, these are the examples I'm giving again and again. Then people will take you as a role model and they will like to sit, meet, and talk to you. Another is know the types of personality. Well, persons are having different types of personalities. I will take a few of them. One type of personality is type A and type B personality. type A personality people, they go on taking more and more tasks. You will find somebody in your college or university or department that whatever work is given, whatever work gives uh, to such persons, they will take it, and they will take it, and never they do not know to say no for any work. You give them any work, they will say yes, yes, sir. I will try my level best, and I will do. So with the result that they are always under pressure to do things. They are doing many things simultaneously. So they take the load of the work, but because they are under pressure of work, and the work is of vivid nature, so they many times fail to perform it perfectly. Then if my boss says, my head says that, sir, you please teach a paper on finance, I will say no, because I have no expertise right now in finance. So type B person will not teach finance if he is from HR, but type A person, if you are type A person, you will say, okay, sir, nothing to worry. I have studied finance in my college days. I will teach it, no issue. So you evaluate yourself whether you belong to type A or type B. Now, type B persons, they go to hard positions because they have a tendency to do work to the best possible perfection. So their performance is better as compared to type A personality people. But another problem with type B persons is that they many times they are arrogant. They are short-tempered. Perhaps nature has built them like this, like that. That since they are more qualified persons, so nature has given a drawback in them also that they are short tempers many times. So you may find that your boss is short tempered. He's otherwise very good. He's working very good, but he's a person of short temperament. He becomes angry. So, type A and type B personality. These are the two different, aspects. Second one is introvert and extrovert personality. Introvert people, they do not like to mix with others. They do not like to go for attending marriages or go for picnic spots or going to cinema. They do not like. They like to sit silently. They like to remain alone. Whereas extrovert personality persons, they are the reverse of introvert. These persons, they like to share their things, their thinking, their feeling, uh, they like to share their feelings with others happily. They love to go for picnic. They love to go for cinema. They love to go for attending marriages, etc., etc. So type A persons, introvert persons, they are, since they are not willing to share their problems with others, so they remain more under stress, especially as compared to extrovert persons. So many times you will find that in most of the cases, I will say, you will find that the persons who go for suicide, they are introvert persons. And it is more likely that some introvert person goes for suicide. I'm not saying that every introvert person goes for suicide, but those who decide to end their life, they go for suicide. Generally, they are of introvert nature because they do not like to share their mental burden. They do not like to share their feelings with others, with the result that the load of stress increases gradually, and the time comes when they feel that they are not in a position to bear the load of the stress. So I will say, especially to my introvert friends sitting in this particular program, obviously they will be here. I will request them to try to change their introvert nature to extrovert nature. And if you say that it is not possible, then I will suggest that if you do not like to talk with others, then at least talk to God. And if you say that I don't believe in God, then you talk to walls. दीवालों के भी कान होते हैं. You talk to walls. You go into a river and talk to the waves of the river. You sit under a tree and talk to the tree. Say whatever you like. Share your feelings. Take them out. And then you will find that your mental load, which you're keeping in your mind, that will be lessening. That will be coming down. So there will be no need for suicide. So introvert and extrovert personality, try to be extrovert as much as possible. That will bring more pleasure than pains. But if you, in spite of today's lecture, if you continue to be introvert, then I'm sorry to say that you are unknowingly inviting more problems, more mental load for you in the coming years. Then proactive and reactive personality. Proactive is personality persons, they plan the things well in advance. Whereas reactive persons, they plan the things at the last moment. At the 11th moment, they start planning. With the result that many times they do not succeed, basically because they were not proactive. They did not make preparation for facing the problem which was likely to come. So proactive and reactive personality, some of you will be of reactive nature and some of you will be proactive nature. And those who are of reactive nature, I will advise them to convert yourself to proactive. Now, another test as to how you can test whether you are proactive or reactive. So if you suppose I am giving a lecture before you and I take out, I go to Google, I go to Instagram and this and there and try to find out how a lecture on managing interpersonal relations can be prepared. Today morning I start preparing a lecture and in the afternoon I have to give a lecture. Probably I am a person of reactive nature because the things have now before me and then I am trying. But if I plan my lecture, say 1 week before or 2 or 3 days before the date of giving the lecture, then I am a person of proactive nature. So proactive persons, they plan in advance, whereas reactive personality persons, they rise when the problem is before them. So as I said, try to be proactive. Then positive and negative personality. Positive and negative personality means it's very clear as title says, there are persons who are of positive nature. They will find good things in every situation. Take any situation and they will find some good things. Whereas the negative personality holders, well, they find fault with every situation. For example, it is almost 1 hour, say it is 50 minutes past for this. In this lecture, we have already consumed 50 minutes. So 30 plus 10, 40 minutes are now left. So the positive personality holder will say that now only 40 minutes are left. 50 minutes has gone, only 40 minutes are left. Whereas negative person will say, oh, see, oh my God, still 50 minutes are left. So somebody 50 minutes means a short span of only 50 minutes are left. For others, 50 minutes are left. Time is same, but the approach is different. Take another example. I am giving a lecture. Now, the positive personality holders, they will try to find out some good features of my lecture. And if you are concentrating on my good things, when my lecture is complete, then remember OP Rai, if you are talking with regard to my negative aspects of the lecture, you are a person of negative personality holder. And if you find some good features of my lecture, after completion of the lecture, you are a person of positive personality holder. So looking, the lecture is same. Remember, my lecture is same. Somebody is criticizing and somebody is praising. How it is possible? If my lecture is good or it is bad, then everybody will say it is good or bad. If some are saying it is good and some are saying it is bad, it means what? It is our attitude. It is our personality feature that we are a positive personality holder or negative personality holder. Young teachers, if you are positive personality holder, congratulations. You are going to have lesser pains in your future life. But for those who are negative personality holders, my humble request will be please change your attitude. This negative thinking, go on criticizing, more criticism, lesser praise, this tendency will bring more pains for you. You are going to having more enemies and you are going to have more stress in your future life. So if some of my negative personality holders sitting in this program, if they understand my saying, then please change yourself. And since I am a positive personality holder, so even if you do not change, I will say that you are not to be blamed. Dear negative personality holders, even if you do not decide to change your approach, I will not criticize you. I will say that perhaps I should work more with you. I should have more motivational power to impress you that whatever you are deciding, that means you are deciding to remain negative personality holder, this is a bad decision. Anyway, look at your mental state, look at your BP, look at your other movements, developments in your body parts. And if you are observing your functioning of your body parts, you will find that negative personality holders, well, they will have more problems. There may be problem in liver or lungs or anywhere. Because this negative personality brings negative energy. And when negative energy is generated in the body, obviously it is going to harm some body parts. May not be immediately, but after some time. Many times it has been seen that those who are having negative personality, they have a lesser lifespan as well. So decide yourself. You want to live longer or you want to live not longer. It is up to you. Then another tip for improving interpersonal skills is uh, your knowing your ego state. You see, ego state means a person's way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. A person's way of thinking, feeling, and behaving. How you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Now, on these parameters, three types of ego states might be there. One is parent ego state, other one is adult ego state, and third one is child ego state. Since time is limited, so I will not go in detail. My friends from commerce and management, they might be knowing. For economics people maybe that they are also knowing, but then for the sake of their benefit, I will briefly explain these three ego states. So the parent ego state, I mean the person who is under parent ego state, he or she will have dominating behavior. He or she will like to dominate wherever he or she is there. So uh, if the boss is of a parent ego state, well, he will always like to dominate. Maybe that you find that your boss always try to dominate. Then remember my statement that he is perhaps having parent ego state where he feels that he's born for dominating others. So, dominating behavior is the unique feature of a person who is having parent ego state. He says, I am okay, you are not okay. Will always say, I am okay, you are not okay. Then adult ego state persons, they say that they neither try to ego state, adult ego state, and child ego state. Ask a question to yourself. Now look at my para language. Ask a question to yourself. Ask a question to yourself. So look at the para language. So ask a question to yourself under which ego state you are. You are in parent ego state or adult ego state or child ego state. A large number of problems are eagerly waiting to welcome you. You will be having many times unnecessary problems for you because you will want to dominate, and it is not always possible to dominate. So, if possible, I will suggest the persons who are under parent ego state to uh, divert, change to adult ego state. Look at your behavior in the class. You try to dominate. If somebody is asking some question, you scold him or her. Sit down. How could you dare to ask a question? Sometimes some teachers do. I'm not saying you are doing or you do, but sometimes some teachers do. So it indicates their parent ego state. Whereas in adult ego state, you will behave maturely. You will not like to dominate somebody, and similarly, you will not like to get dominated. Try to be under this ego state. This ego state says, I am okay, you are okay. And child ego state is, I am not okay, you are okay. So if you talk with reference to life positions, if you convert these ego states to life positions, then parent ego state says, the person of parent ego state says, I am okay, you are not okay. Dominating. I am okay, you are not okay. Adult ego state says, I am okay, you are okay. And child ego state says, I am not okay, you are okay. Next slide, sir. Please go to the next slide. Now, so these were some tips for improving interpersonal skills. Now, with these interpersonal skills in the back, we take up uh, another part of our discussion, which is with reference to managing relations. Now, in any college or any university or any department, you are having superiors, you are having peers, and you are having subordinates. Now, subordinates in the form of students, for example. So, I will take these three parties one by one. First of all, let us talk about the superiors, managing relations with superiors. So, the question is how you can have good rapport, congenial relationship with your boss, say with your head of the department, with your principal, or with your director. Now, look, you see, whatever I am going to say, this is based on my own experience. In my young age, as you are, I used to be in parent ego state. Unfortunately, nobody told me in FDP that I should switch over from parent ego state to adult ego state. So I continued with that uh, adult with that parent ego state and got pains which right now I feel that could have been avoided. So I never gave due respect and regard to my boss because of many reasons. But my boss some detailed discussion on this. Good relation with the boss, I think, and uh, with our boss. Then what you can do? Number one, exchange favors. What you do? Exchange favors. That means what? That means help boss. Boss will help you. Boss says that Mr. X or Miss X, you please remain in the department up to 6 p.m. You say, okay, sir, I will sit. So this is what we say. You say, help boss, boss will help you. So if you help boss and remain in the department, say, for example, up to 6 p.m., and after 1 week you want one casual leave or one leave for any particular purpose, and you approach your boss, sir, I want to go for a leave for a particular purpose, the boss will say, okay, Mr. S or Mr. X or Miss X, you go on leave. Why leave was given? Because you helped the boss earlier. The reverse side is that if you do not help boss, then boss will also not help you. So you may sometimes find that one teacher was allowed to go on leave and other teacher was not allowed to go on leave. Then you start saying that this is discrimination and this and that, bossism is there, whatever you call. But the under story is, behind the curtain story is that the person who got leave, he helped the boss at some time, and since the other person he refused to obey the boss on one or other ground, then the boss did not grant him leave. So what you want? You want leave as per your desire? Then my suggestion is help boss. Boss will help you. Appreciate boss. Boss will appreciate you. What you do, dear teachers, you criticize boss. Many times you criticize boss, and what you expect? That boss would praise you. Is it possible? The karma theory says whatever you do, the same is returned back with interest. So if you want, and I think you want, if you want that you should be praised by the boss, start praising boss to begin with. Similarly, do extra favor for boss, boss will do extra favor for you. Again, the same thing. Do some extra work for the boss. Some assignment is given. You accept the assignment, do the job. Boss will also help you in due course of time. For example, when your promotions come, the boss will help you. So exchange favors with boss. Second is apply role-playing method. There is one role-playing method, and the best example of role-playing method is 5th September every year when Teachers' Day is celebrated. Teachers, they become students, and students become teachers. That is what we call role-playing method. So if you feel that boss was not properly behaving with you on a particular day, then there might be some reason for that. Might be that boss was under stress. Might be that boss was scolded by somebody else earlier. So since he was scolded, so he scolded you also, and with interest. You started surprising that what happened earlier, the boss never scolded me. Why he scolded today? So, okay, since he scolded because somebody scolded him earlier. So you place yourself in the place of boss and keep the boss at your place. Then you can understand why the boss said whatever he or she said. So this will help you to understand the boss in a proper way, under proper environment. So apply role-playing method. Many times boss doesn't behave as you feel that he should have behaved. basically because there might be certain reasons due to which he could not or she could not behave as per your expectation. Give that much of margin to the boss. Then find out the ego state and the personality of the boss and behave accordingly. Uh, then I have said, change the boss or change yourself. Now, if you find, unfortunately, to your bad luck, that your boss is of parent ego state, the boss behaves in under parent ego state. That is, the boss is having dominating personality or dominating behavior. Now, since he or she is in parent ego state, so what can be done? Only thing which can be done is that you tell the boss that, sir, you always behave under parent ego state. I was given a lecture by somebody in FDP that parent ego state brings more problems than pleasures. So, sir, why not you convert yourself from a parent ego state to adult ego state? That will bring more pleasures and minimize your pains. Sir, do that. Now, if you say, sir, what the hell you are talking about? How can I say like this to the boss? Boss will be angry. Okay, if you say that you cannot say, then my submission is change yourself. If you cannot change the boss, if you cannot change the personality of the boss, the ego state of the boss, then change yourself. Changing yourself is perhaps easier. And since the boss is under that state, parent ego state, so he or the boss will always like to dominate. So my point is that find out the ego state of the boss and act accordingly. Either change the boss or change yourself. Similarly, with regard to personality, if the boss is of positive personality, then he will always like to praise others. And if unfortunately he's of negative personality, then he will go on criticizing, and even he will criticize you also. So the same thing, if the boss is of negative personality holder, either change him, or if you cannot, then change yourself and bear the pains with pleasure. So find out the ego state and personality of the boss and behave accordingly. Now, next is give your best and leave the rest on the boss. With regard to boss, if you want to have good relations, dear teachers, honorable teachers, give your best and leave the rest on the boss. Boss will like or not, that is not under your domain, but what under domain is that you give your best, work hard, give your all possible efforts to complete the work which has been given by the boss. And generally, it happens that if you have given your best, then boss will understand that and appreciate you, barring a few exceptions here or there. So my tip for you is that if you want to have good relation, then work hard, give your best, and then you will find that boss is also giving his or her best for you. Then try to bear every pain with pleasure. Now, if boss has scolded, since you cannot scold boss, so try to bear this pain with pleasure. Think like this, that well, today the boss has scolded me, but never mind. Tomorrow he may praise me, and maybe that tomorrow he calls you and asks for a forgiveness. That well, sorry, I scolded you. I had a stressful mind at that time. I feel that I should not have scolded. Maybe tomorrow he calls you and apologizes. So try to bear every pain with pleasure. And if the boss has scolded and you go on criticizing him, you go on giving bad comments about him to your friends and with the others, then the same will be communicated to the boss, and that will multiply your problems. So I will not advise you to go on criticizing the boss on public platforms. Next aspect of the relationship is remember you can little harm the interest of the boss, but boss can harm your interest significantly. Look at this point carefully. Remember, and remember this thing for the whole life. You can little harm the boss. You can little harm the boss, but boss can harm you significantly. Honorable teachers, I was not promoted as I was talking. I never cared for my boss in my old young days, 25 years back. And I was not promoted when the time for promotion came. Then I learned this lesson, which I am giving you free of cost. Knowing well that if something is given free, it is not taken seriously. Even then, I will request you to be serious to my lesson which I am giving you. Boss, you can little harm the boss, but boss can harm you significantly. Well, barring a few exceptions here or there. Last point to this relationship is keep in mind the boss is neither good nor bad. A is saying boss is good. A teacher is saying boss is good. B teacher is saying boss is bad. Now I ask you a question, boss is good or bad? It is attitude. It is our way of thinking which makes a boss good or bad. Let's have next slide, please. Next slide. Now the second party in the college, department, or university is your peers. That is your teacher colleagues with whom you are working. So for your friend teachers, how can you have good relations? Since time is running fast, I should be brief. My suggestion is understand and try to improve the ego state and the personality of the peers. Like boss, you should try to understand the ego state of your teachers, your friends. I mean, friend teachers, and also try to understand the personality, introvert, extrovert, type A, type B, negative, positive, like that. And if you can change their personality, if you can improve the personality, try for that. In fact, you should go on trying to improve the personality. Say, for example, from negative to positive, or from uh, reactive to proactive, or from introvert to extrovert, like that. Try to change, but if you cannot, then you learn as to how you have to cope up the situation. You have to, in other words, you have to change yourself, because both your teacher friends and you both have to survive in the department. So if there's no way out, then why you should have a teacher friend who is like enemy for you? It will simply lead to higher blood pressure for you, and higher blood pressure means a number of alt called for problems. So avoid that. Then learn the art of getting cooperation. You should learn the art of how you can get cooperation from your teacher friends. How can you get cooperation from your colleagues? Well, the simple formula is you help them, they will help you. You help them, they will help you. You praise them, they will praise you. You do extra favor for them, they will also do extra favor to you. So simple things. Try to learn this art of getting cooperation. Then develop positive thinking and ideal friendships. First of all, you yourself should be a positive thinker. If you are a negative thinker, then as I said, please, after this lecture, you convert yourself or try to convert yourself to the extent possible to a positive thinker, so that you have more pleasures And you not only develop positive thinking in you, but also try to help your colleagues who are negative thinkers. You also make them understand and make them change their way of thinking so that they also become lesser stressful. And if you do that, then it will lead to ideal friendship. And lastly, accept criticism gracefully. As I said earlier, criticism may be of negative or positive nature. Negative criticism means when you criticize for the sake of criticizing. And positive criticism is that you criticize somebody to ensure that the drawback is removed or eliminated. So if somebody is criticizing you, even for the sake of criticism, accept it gracefully. If you find that there is some logic in the criticism, try to find out the reason behind the criticism and try to do something if you can do, so that next time you do not get criticized. But if you feel that somebody is criticizing for the sake of criticism, the better way is you ignore it. Do not respond. Because if you respond, then again another criticism will come in. And there will be a network of this criticism. So why to increase criticism? Let it be buried down. You ignore it, and if you ignore, then things will be automatically managed in due course of time. And that's our next slide. Now the last part is how you can have good relations with your students. So for this purpose, the first and most important suggestion from my side is that if you want to have good relations with your students, and if you want that students should respect you and regard you, then always do one thing. What is that one thing? Treat students as your own wards. Assume that the student is your son or daughter, your brother or sister, as per your age. And if some student is misbehaving, if some student has misbehaved with you, then place that student in the position of brother or sister, son or daughter. If your son might have done the same thing, what you could have done, and accordingly behave. Things will be okay. Treat students as your own wards, as your own brothers, sisters, daughters, sons. Many problems, uncalled problems, will be automatically resolved. Second, believe in theory Y of motivation. Believe in theory Y of motivation. Two types of theories are there, theory X and theory Y. Again, my friends from commerce and management might be doing that. Douglas McGregor, he gave this theory X and Y. So theory X is to some extent negative motivation theory, where Y is positive theory. The gist of the X theory is that X theory says that people by nature are not willing to work. People by nature, persons by nature are not willing to work. And since they are not willing to work, then they need to be closely observed, monitored, and they get motivated through monetary incentives. These are some of the features of theory X. Theory Y is just reverse. Theory Y says that every person is willing to work. Every person is willing to work provided congenial environment is created. And since every person is willing to work, then there is no need of close supervision, close monitoring. And persons are motivated not only through monetary incentives, but also through non-monetary incentives. So I say that you believe in theory Y of motivation. That means every student is willing to study, provided congenial environment is created in the class. If you are not supplying tasty mental food to the class, then how can you expect good relations with the students. It is not possible. So as a cook, you have to prepare rich, tasty, delicious mental food. And if you provide that, then every student will like to attend to class and will like to give his or her best for you. Then avoid becoming revengeful. As Mahatma Gandhi said, hate the sin and not the sinner. So avoid becoming revengeful. If you treat your students as your sons or daughters or sisters or brothers, then obviously perhaps you will not like to be revengeful. You will not deduct marks because he had some conflict with you earlier. So avoid becoming revengeful. Make lectures innovative and interesting. What other thing you can do to ensure that you have good relations with your students? As I said earlier, also make your lecture innovative and interesting. At some other time, if you meet, I can tell you how you can make your lecture innovative and interesting. A number of videos are there on YouTube. You can look at that. Make your lecture different from others. How can you make it different? Think of that. Make your lecture innovative and interesting. Make them remember throughout their life. If you make your lecture innovative and interesting, then students will remember you throughout your life, throughout their life. So if you want that you should be remembered as a good teacher, then go for innovative and interesting lectures. Lastly, sharpen the skills of students. You not only give traditional teaching, you not only complete the course or the syllabus, but side by side also look at some other aspects of students, like how you can improve the communication skill, the body language, the para language of the students. As I talked about body language and para language, you also talk in the class about body language and para language. Tell them the importance of body language and para language. Tell your students that when they are on the dais, they should have eye contact with the audience. You are the teacher who can tell them. So, communicate. You try to improve the communication skills of the students. You also try to improve the life skills, like how time can be managed, time management. You can talk about how can you improve time management, how can you have effective time management, money management, and stress management. Time management means time. If you kill time, somebody has said, if you kill time, a time will come when time will kill you. Honorable teachers, I repeat, if you kill time, a time will come when time will kill you. So properly utilize time. Similarly, money management. Somebody has said money matters, but money is not the only matter which matters. But still money matters. I once again repeat, money matters, but money is not the only matter which matters. And with regard to stress management, as I said, a number of things can be done for minimizing stress. I have given you a separate note on that. If you could spare some time, read those tips carefully, and if you find some of them useful for you, also implement those things in your future life. And this is how I can become. This is how you can remember me for life. As I was saying about my lecture, that give a lecture which the students remember for their whole life. So I also say that if possible, you look at those points, try to implement some of them if you like, and through this I can be remembered by you if not for whole life, then for some days at least. So this is what I have to say. If some questions are there, uh, I shall be happy to reply. Coordinator sir. Back to coordinator sir.
Yes,
Somebody
sir. Yes, sir.
great leaders communicate and great communicators lead. And last word, the last slide is, last slide, change the slide. So thank you all, thank you all, thank you all.
Thank you,
Sarji.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, my lecture is over.
Yes, sir. I think, yes.
If somebody has to ask anything, you can ask. Hmm?
I think your lecture is very clear and precise. And I think there is no questions from attendees.
Sir, Batandu sir, you are online. There is only few questions. May I take it, sir?
You may take.
Okay. Okay, sir. There are a few questions, so I will take it.
Please, please take them one by one.
Okay, sir. Is this hope? Previous. So, sir, there is no question so far. Actually, some questions are related to earlier session. Okay, it's
Okay, okay.
it's all for earlier session.
Okay,
One
okay.
question is there from Koheli. So the question is, how can effective interpersonal communication be brought in online learning?
Well, that's whether you go for online or offline, the importance of communication always is there. And how can we have effective communication? Well, for that purpose, a number of things are required. Number one is the knowledge we must have. If we are not having knowledge, then how can we communicate? And if we have knowledge, then we should also have a skill as to how that knowledge has to be transferred to somebody so that it is properly digested by the concerned persons or parties. So for that purpose, the body, I was discussing about that, the body language, the para language, that has to be taken care so that we become more effective.
Sir, no more question. Only one question was there. I think our participants were busy with your lecture. I missed this session, sir. I joined just 10 minutes back because of the PhD Viva. I was busy. I missed this session,
Okay.
but we are recording this session, sir. So I will go through the recording and I will share with you also this recording, sir.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you for joining, and for information to the participant, Professor O.P. Rai, sir, has been my teacher since my BCom days. He taught me in BCom and MCom in BHU. So I missed your lecture today, sir. I hardly missed your lectures, but today I missed it. So thank you, sir, for sparing your time for us and elaborating a very important topic. And lots of thanks are there in the chat box. So they must have enjoyed. And thank you, sir. In future also, we'll be calling you for further more things, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that's all. Many thanks
Okay,
for
namaste, sir.
inviting me to have interaction with the young friends.
Yes, sir. And sir,
Big thank you to all.
Dr. Vidhu is there, sir. He is the co-coordinator of this.
Namaste, sir.
He is associate professor in management department in my university.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'm meeting for the first time, I suppose.
Yes, probably, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fine,
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
Okay, sir. Good day, sir.
So, dear participants, let's call it a day and we'll meet tomorrow again, 10 a.m. sharp to start tomorrow's sessions. Thank you and see you all tomorrow morning at 10. Take care and good night.